How's everybody doing? Let's talk about first grade now. It's the same school. I haven't gone to a new school yet. It's the same darn school. And K through 4 is going to be at this school I'm talking about. It was called South Main. They changed the name though, actually. It's funny. I don't know why they changed the name. It's now like just South Elementary School or something. Why did they change it to that? It was on Main Street. Or no, what? Yeah, it was. But, you know, why did they change? I don't know why they changed it. I like South Main. But anyway, first grade. Now, in kindergarten, there was AM and there was a PM. Okay, I went to morning, AM, because I think that's when my parents worked. So, you know, I have to be doing something then while they're at work. But I did not go to PM. I don't know why. I always was like, I'd rather go to PM, you know, it's later in the day, I can sleep in, but who cares? Anyway, first grade. Now, this was the first time I had a guy teacher, and he was a very cool guy. He yelled at me a few times, but, you know, I remember, one time where this one time he yelled at me, and anyway, I don't know what I was thinking. I grabbed this one kid by the arm and I started dragging him across the room. Well, on his chair, so he's on a chair like this. I grabbed his arm, I was messing around, I wasn't trying to be mean. And I grabbed his arm and I was dragging him like a train or something, like by his arm, and on this tile floor. And as soon as the teacher walked in, this happened. As soon as the teacher walked in, the kid's chair leg hit like whatever, you know, like the floor went up a little bit and the chair hit that, and he like flipped in the air as soon as the teacher walked in, and he was like, "Go sit down." That's what he did. He was like, "Go sit down," and he like did that with his hands. I don't know what that was about, but I was like, dang. So I sat down, and I remember like these kids were playing like these flashcards, like these multiplication flashcards, and that's when we started learning multiplication. And he was doing that right in front of me while I was sitting there with my head down, you know, because that's what they made you do back then. Or not back then, it's not that long ago, but anyway, they were doing that right in front of me, and it was ticking me off, and I don't know. It's like, go play it somewhere else, kids. Go play it somewhere else. Anyway, I remember one time, I think afterwards I was kind of scared of him because of that. And I remember I was scared to ask to go to the bathroom, and I really had to go. And I finally got up the guts to ask him, and he was like, "Yeah, go, get out of here," you know. So we buried the hatchet pretty good. Anyway, what else? I remember there was this one this one girl that liked me in first grade, and I had no interest in her. I just didn't care. I mean, I just wanted to do the schoolwork and go home and watch movies. That's always what I wanted to do. But she liked me, and she would always like flirt with me and stuff. I was just not interested. I don't know. She would be like, JP. She would like laugh at my name. I was like, stop. And story time. We had story time in first grade, and we'd all sit around our teacher on this carpet, and we'd have story time with him. And he'd read us books like, you know, Shel Silverstein's Falling Up, and those poems. He'd read like a poem a day or something. If they were really short, he'd read 2 or so a day. But anyway, I remember she would like laugh because this kid was overweight, kind of, and his arse crack was showing, and she'd like laugh at that and be like, his butt crack's showing, and just like, shut up, you know. She was kind of annoying. Anyway, this is why I want to bring her up if you're wondering. One day she got sick, right in front of me. Alright, here's my desk right here, and her desk was facing me, and so she's across. That's how they were set up. And anyway, her face was green, and green's my favorite color, but this made me question the color green. But anyway, she was sitting across from me, and her face was green. She was like this, you know. I was just like, I'm just sitting there like this, like she's gonna throw up, and you know, and sure enough, she went like this. She was like, and slowly this. It was like The Exorcist or something. It was like slowly, like green milkshake lava, just started corroding out of her mouth or something. It just started like leaking down, like very slowly, like this, and then it started to spread and totally, like just totally cover this table. And her paper was here, and her pencil was there, and it started to cover this like lava, it was like watching Volcano or something, or Dante's Peak. It was like covering this table, and I was just like, Mr. You know the teacher's name. I was yelling the teacher's name. I wasn't yelling. I couldn't get the words out because it was so horrific. I like looked back at the teacher, and he was like walking away from us for some reason, back to his desk. I was like, Mr. Stein. That's how I was saying it, because I couldn't get the words out, and I finally like said, Mr. Stockmaster, and that's his name, Stockmaster. And he looked, and he was like, oh. And I remember, for some reason, I stayed after, like during recess, and I don't know if they were trying to, you know, get me therapy for what I just saw, but sorry. I remember the janitors cleaning it up. For some reason, I was there. I was there watching them clean this mess up, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh!" Even the janitors were just, you know, they couldn't believe it either. But anyway, yeah. So we talked about tile flooring, and one thing about the tile flooring, the school was getting older, so the floor was starting to, you know, break. And I remember the teacher kept picking up pieces of the tile floor. He would just pick them right off, like, you know, they're like this. They're like, and they've got like designs on them, right? He would pick up the tiles and he'd like take them back to his desk. And I remember he picked up like 6 in one day because the floor was falling apart. And I don't know. Just, geez. Just what a bunch of... The school, and they like... The school's still up now, but I remember they redid that part of the school. So, you know, first grade is where you learn about, you know, all this stuff, you know, social stuff. I don't know if there was that, but, you know, music and art class. And I remember my art class teacher, she was generally nice. I was a really big art person back then, and I would always like draw pictures of like the White House and stuff, and she really liked them. I don't know, for some reason the teacher kind of scared me though. Like she was a germaphobic, and she would always be like, don't touch your face and stuff like that. And yeah, so I remember one day I prayed to God that she wasn't there for some reason, and it actually happened. She wasn't there. There was a substitute, and I was like, I don't know. The thing is, if I would have known how much worse it was going to get, I wouldn't have complained about that teacher. You know, she's generally nice. I think so now, at least. And so we had a music teacher as well. And the school was so poor, I don't know, it wasn't poor, but this is just how it was set up. The music teacher's room was in a trailer in the backyard of the school area. It was like in this trailer thing. And I remember like 2 years after, like in 3rd grade or so, they tore it down and they built new additions to the school. And yeah, I don't know. I remember this one like really eccentric girl, and I didn't really like her that much. She was just too eccentric. She was always bouncing around. She was like Sarah Jessica Parker in LA Story or something. But she was always jumping around, and I remember one day I got teamed up with her in music class. And so, we had to grab each other's arms. You know, I didn't mind. I just grab each other's hands, and we'd like whip each other around. And that's what we had to do. It was like you know, like in Titanic where they do that thing, you know. It was sort of like a rodeo or something, I don't know. And I accidentally let go of her, and she went flying into the piano. And I was just like, oh crap, and everybody was like giving me weird looks. Like I was like, it was an accident, I swear. Yeah, it was an accident. I don't know. And she was crying. I mean, she was like really crying. I don't know. Anyway, what else is there? Music class, all that. You know, this is just first grade. There's no, you know, periods or anything. That didn't sound right. I mean, like periods, like, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, no, you know. But whatever. First grade. There you go. I can't really think of anything else. I promise I'll have more stories when I get into middle school and everything. But anyway, there's first grade for you, and I'll leave you to that, and I'll say goodbye now. See you later. Thanks for watching.